Breaking news, there's an election coming up.
Hi everybody, it's Tom and Ryan with this month's video. One of the questions that we've been getting often is what are we doing with the election and what do we think is going to happen with the election outcome?
I'm moving to Venezuela.
So I would say the one main shift is going to be the policy shifts. And what are your thoughts on that?
Well, not even that though. First, remember something. The company CEOs are constantly deciding where they want to bring their company. Add stuff here, take things away here, go there. So they're not just sitting there on their hands as the CEO or the board of directors and not doing everything. And one of the examples of that is back last Christmas, you had Walmart and Amazon sitting there saying, we think it's going to be off Christmas. We're going to do less truckloads. And, you know, it's a big change they're making. But that's just the company. And then also, more importantly, you have the fund managers. The fund managers are trying to decide where they want to go with their whatever, large cap fund. And do they want to buy X, Y, Z, or ABC? And do they want to be heavy in this or light in that? So those are the two big things that are going on before we even get, involved.
So you don't think fund managers don't have an idea and just they're going to wake up after the election and make a change?
No.
They already have a strategy in place for whoever's going to be elected, and they're already jockeying for both sides of it.
And the reason we have usually 10 or more fund managers is some are sort of right, some are sort of wrong, and some are both ways. So you got to mix it up and average it out.
And I would say the other thing that I'm getting questions on is what about the tax policy? Should I be doing conversions and doing all these things before we even know who's going to be elected? And you could actually hurt yourself more by making these changes now than just waiting and seeing.
And that is not tax policy they're talking about. It's tax proposals in the middle of an election, which don't always happen.
And then you got to go to government spending. Who's going to be spending what in what industries and why it's important not to.
I wish they would stop spending, but spending proposals have to supposedly go through Congress. You could have the president just sign his orders and push things through, and that happens a lot.
Yeah, and then you have the regulation and deregulation and what's going to happen with that. And again, going back to your point, these CEOs of these companies are making these decisions on how they're going to move forward with their company based on all this stuff.
Then I'd go to market volatility. No matter what, you get a little hesitation before the election, and then you could have market volatility all the time. Whoever wins this time, we're going to get market volatility. But does that mean you do anything about it? Because I always look at my portfolio and I say, okay, so if it goes down by 5 or 10%, it's done that how many times already? And eventually it comes back, sometimes longer, sometimes shorter, but you can't get away from market volatility, and you really can't get away from it by put all your money in cash or in bonds or something and then pick the perfect day to jump back in.
And I would say the other thing that we didn't talk about is the consumer. And the consumer's making decisions every day based on interest rates, inflation. I know you were going to do a kitchen or something like that. Is that still happening? Or?
I'm waiting until after, and I'll get to it later. And that's just the hesitation of me deciding. And people decided things every day. I'm going to buy a new car. I'm not going to buy a new car. And, between husband and wife, Trish and I argue about a lot of stuff like that.
I would say the other thing you have to worry about is the sector impact. And certain people want to invest in certain areas. I just feel like they should have a diversified portfolio that covers different sectors and has different funds in it, because you don't want to make a bet in any one given area. Going back to your point of, market timing, you can't do that either.
I have a few clients that say, well, Tom, what are you doing? And my answer is simply, I have lots of everything, and I don't try to be smarter than the market, because I tried that in the past. It hasn't worked. And that's the other thing. When you get volatility, which we talked about before, you can deploy some of that cash. You can take advantage of some of those low prices.
And it could be an opportunity for clients that had a lot of cash sitting on the sidelines of what to do. And I know a lot of people are hesitant. Once we figure out who's going to be, next president, that could be an opportunity. So thank you everybody for tuning in. And if you have any questions about the election, feel free to reach out to us. But for the most part, I would take a long-term view on this, and we'll see you next month.
Vote early and often.